on Shakura's plateau. Once again, KiWiKaKi up 1-0. Gonna be really interesting to see what Murder can do here differently in this game.
Huge uphill battle for Murder. Not even just being down a game, but Kiwi's play was very, very solid there. You saw at the end of the game how his upgrades just kick in and how his Zealots are able just to mow through the huge bio army of Murder. Murder had a pretty significant army, tons of medevac support, and Kiwi was just able to shred through it. So I'm really hoping that Murder can pull this out. We got cross positions here on Shakura's plateau. Murder getting the northwestern spawn here is the purple Terran, and in the southeast, again I'm messing that up, the golden Protoss KiWiKaKi, the Root Ninja, as a few people call him. He is able to do weird things with units that shouldn't do things like flying Zealots and other strange abilities that we don't see. But Kiwi putting up a great game, and this should be an interesting one too. Very macro beginnings. Obviously openings very favorable, getting 2 or 3 bases up here. Both players expanding very well last game. The gold base was actually taken first by Murder. He just was not able to hold on, not able to keep up with the upgrades of Kiwi, and fell a little bit behind, but I'm confident he'll be able to put up a good fight here. We did get to see ghosts. I would love to see a nuke, Murder. You can hear me, man. I'd love to see a nuke.
I'm not quite sure how well that would work out for Murder.
True.
But, you know, KiWiKaKi really with those charge lots. Murder was saying, charge lots Imba, nerf please, joking around in the lobby. And the only reason those charge lots really tore into him so hard is the fact they were 3-3, and his bio was 1-1, which is such a ridiculous differential. Those Zealots gain so much damage per attack upgrade that they have over your armor. Seeing as they get +1 shot onto each attack. And of course that buffs every other unit that he had on the field. The Colossus, the Sentries, the Stalkers. The only thing that wasn't benefiting from the damage was the Storms from the Templars. But then of course they morph from the Archons, and then they get the upgrades anyway. I really like the positioning that KiWiKaKi had when his Templar got low. He moved them to the front, then morphed them into Archons in front of his army, so that Murder was shooting at the morphing Archons instead of the rest of his army. Just really doing a good damage, just soaking shots. Kiwi does a lot of really cool things with his micro that lets him do things that most players shouldn't be able to do, like defending an all-in push with what doesn't look like enough units. So especially on these cross positions on Shakura's, Murder's going to have to play for a little bit of a longer game here unless he does something funky. And whenever you play for a longer game, you're kind of playing into KiWiKaKi's hands, because he usually has that long arcing strategy that he's working on, and the more time you give him to work on that, the worse you're going to be in the game.
Great point. And Kiwi doing it again, not scouting until 22. Normally people will scout off the Rex. Kiwi will be denied at the ramp. He won't even see the natural of Murder. So Kiwi playing blind again, and he did this last game. It didn't hurt him by any means. That's the weird thing about this, but most players would like to know what's going on in the Terran's base. How many racks does he have? How many gas does he have? Those are generally critical things to know, and Kiwi will play this completely blind. Getting the probe into basically the third expansion position here of Murder. Murder's got a Reaper on the field. He's going to make his way through the back door here. He's getting caught on a wall. Now he's up on the field, but looks like Kiwi again just playing blind. I don't know how he does that. If I can't see what's going on, my heart starts pounding, and Kiwi's going to open up into Stargate. So blind Stargate.
1-gate Stargate here from KiWiKaKi. It's going to be interesting what he does with this. Because we did see really heavy mech in Game 1 from Murder, and basically what he can do with this Stargate is he can open up with a Phoenix and get that scouting information that he wanted earlier, because you were saying how he doesn't see what's going on.
Right.
This Stargate's going to allow him to at least make a Phoenix, fly all around, see everything that Murder's doing, check around the entire map. If he makes a couple more, he can do a little bit of harassment, and if he sees something a little bit mech-oriented for Murder, he can actually switch over into Void Rays. And actually I'm getting the games confused. That was the previous game that saw heavy mech. But like I was saying, if he does see mech and factories from Murder, he can just switch these over into into Void Rays, which are going to do really well against any sort of a mech style. But Murder, of course, is not doing that. He's got just barracks on the way. More common to be doing after this fast expansion, but Kiwi hasn't seen that yet. And as you can see, this Phoenix just going to scout everything, and he'll be able to go for whatever strategy he pleases. So this Stargate, even if he stopped producing Phoenixes right there, just off the one, would have paid for itself right then, just by seeing everything.
Yeah. Knowing that Phoenix is going to get a great look, you can notice again Kiwi's micro is very strong. He has 31 workers, although Murder has been on 2 base for just a little bit longer, not too much longer. He is well behind in terms of his worker count. I guess Kiwi playing very smart, like a very good metagame here. What happened if Murder brought 2 Marauders and 2 Marines with no sentries out? You know, that's how a Protoss loses really early on, right? So, but Kiwi not falling victim to that, doing a great job of just knowing, hey, this is Shakuris, it's a big map. I'm not going to see that kind of crazy, hyper-aggressive play. Those 2 Phoenix now able to tag team SCV's 2 kills on those things. I hate when that happens. Because now you have to pull your Marines to the back, and now you have your army split. So Phoenix Harass, really great opening for Kiwi, and he's able to just transition into his expansion. He's getting, Murder getting quicker upgrades this time. +1 infantry weapons very early at the 8-minute mark, and Factory just started for Murder. So he's going to have to react now to these Phoenix.
Yeah, and like you were saying, even if he did suffer a really quick timing attack from Murder, these Phoenixes in the field means that he could lift up a significant portion of any really early bio attack. He can pick off the Marines quite easily with the Phoenixes, seeing as they die very quickly. Then once the Marines are all down, he can start taking Marauders completely out of the fight. So with these Phoenixes, he's actually not too worried about really early timing attacks, because they can actually shut them down if you control them really well. But as KiWiKaKi, you expect him to control well. You have to give him that respect of maybe versus another player where you can kind of hope they'll just screw up. That's just not a possibility for Kiwi. And look at this, coming in right as the double starport comes down. Gonna pick off one of the SCVs, take off the yellow one. Both starports completely shut down. He's continually picking away at the worker count of Murder. What was just a 3-worker differential is now 14 in favor of KiWiKaKi, and now we see another double forge. He's going to get started on those upgrades really early. KiWiKaKi is already pulling ahead, and we're not very far into this game.
Yeah, his blind play is remarkable. I would obviously never be able to play. I'm nowhere near the caliber of KiWiKaKi, of course, but just that blind play is very, very solid. I'm very impressed with his play. He was supply blocking Murder for a good minute or so there with that 1 depot behind the natural by killing 3 building SCVs that were on it. So he wasn't able to build for a few minutes there. It's very remarkable, just those little nuances of every game. Kiwi playing it very, very solid. He's going to get Vikings out. Vikings lose to Phoenix in 1v1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, you are correct. So this is a really interesting decision by Murder, but he seems to apparently have gotten a pretty good read on Kiwi that he has stopped making these Phoenixes. He has been softening them up with the Marines as well. So he just wanted to get these Vikings out. The problem is the Phoenixes are faster. So if Kiwi does a good job of keeping these moving, he won't actually be able to kill them, but even Kiwi has his limits. They will pause every now and then. Murder might eventually be able to kill those, but it will take a decent amount of effort. Ghost Academy on the way again, as well as an armory. So gonna get some ghosts out, possibly a Thor, just to say screw you, Phoenixes. That doesn't seem quite as likely. Most likely just gonna continue with the earlier upgrades, as he seems to have realized the upgrades are really what murdered him in the last game. Murder. Oh, I'm so clever. But KiWiKaKi now moving on to Templar Archives, going to get some storms out really quick. And he's not really going to have anything out on the field that these Vikings are going to merit being on the field. You know, most Protoss will go straight for Colossus. And since these Vikings are on the field, partially to get rid of these Phoenixes, Kiwi's going to skip that, go for Storm. And then these Vikings are just going to feel a little bit useless. So Kiwi still making really, really good decisions here in this game.
Yeah, I've heard it a few times, you know, when he's getting Murder to overreact, that's what I'm trying to say. KiWiKaKi's producing primarily gateway units. He's got 8 gateways there. Will soon be 8 warp gates. 2 of them aren't been converted yet, but he will be on primarily gateway. He has produced no additional Colossus, no robotics, Nothing else, just Templar and Gateway units. However, there's 4 Vikings on the field from Murder and +1 air weapons from Murder. These Vikings are going to shoot at nothing. And so he's forced a huge overreaction from Murder. And now Murder's missing medevacs. He's missing Marauders. He's missing... There's 5 Vikings on the field, and there's 2 more in production. And Kiwi's making nothing that are going to be beneficial to that. So Murder overreacting to the Phoenix play. Kiwi wins that battle, and he's going to be devoting a lot more resources into just shredding this ground army again and pulling too far ahead.
Yeah, Storm just about to finish. This is really bad for Murder, like you're saying. He's really overreacting here. He's working on getting more infantry upgrades this time, but great force fields here from Kiwi. Zealots are going to charge in. He doesn't quite have Storms yet. Here comes a couple Templar. There they go, storming right onto the bio. Kiwi is just going to completely slaughter Murder. That was just completely disgusting. Was not even close. Murder realizes that his Vikings were basically useless, now switching over to medevacs, really far behind. He has 2 starboards instead of more barracks. He could have a couple tanks out on the field with that money as well. Kiwi now working on the amulet, just completely forcing Murder back. No way he's going to be able to get this 3rd base up anytime soon, right as Kiwi's 3rd base is transferring probes. So every little thing we're seeing going on in this game is just serving to put Kiwi farther and farther ahead constantly throughout this game. Level 2 weapons just finished. Level 3 should start pretty soon. Level 2 armor's pretty close. There we go, weapons starting. So he's going to continue cranking ahead in these upgrades, pushing Murder farther and farther behind in this game, and it's just getting out of control.
Yeah, Kiwi's just going to deal a death blow here. He's got way too many units in terms of the army count. Great size storms on the Zealots, able to shred all the SCVs. The SCV numbers completely reduced for Murder. Archon coming in, great force field, no reinforcements. He's going to lose that natural, the second natural as well if he doesn't get that planetary fortress canceled and moved. Kiwi closes the door on that one. I think Murder showed up at that last fight and was like, hey, where are your Colossus? LOL, you don't have any. And that's it.
Here at Kiwi's 3rd, so Murder is doing some damage, going to be able to shut that down completely. The problem is Kiwi's going to say, okay, your units aren't at home, I kill your base. So he can give up a Nexus for all of the production of Murder quite easily. You know, a nice play by Murder, but it was just coming way too late. He wasn't able to kill those Phoenixes fast enough because he wasn't able to do any drops while the Phoenixes were still on the field. The Phoenixes flying around denied so many aspects of Murder's gameplay, and it was just really nice opening by KiWiKaKi. He's basically losing his entire base. Maybe transitioning into a D9 strategy here.
He is, there it goes.
Yep, he's going to try and make something happen with the last couple of forces he has. You know, never give up, never surrender, but you know what that other D9 strategy is. And KiWiKaKi's just going to roll this with some Stalkers, Zealots, Templar, and force the GG for Murder.
Good game. Well played, Kiwi. Great game there to close it out, and Kiwi with a convincing victory does move on to our round of 16, which we will be seeing in just a minute, guys. So stay tuned. Round of 16 coming up, and we'll see you guys in a second.